Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to another fantasy football video. Game week 7 is over, moving on to game week 8. Game week 7, let me know how you guys did. I think a lot of us had better weeks this week than last week. We saw most of the main goal scorers getting at least one. Calvert Lewin scored, Danny Ings got a few, Vardy scored, even Callum Wilson scored. So I did alright this week. As always, let me know how you did. Let's take a quick look at our league. As you can see here, I did get a nice green arrow up to 108th in our league with 71 points this week. As I say, I had a horrific week last week, and I talked about some of the changes I was wanting to make to my team to have a better week. I did make a change. I'll show it to you in a moment, and thankfully it actually worked. Normally the changes I make all go down all go up in a puff of smoke, but this one didn't. So I was happy about that. And thank you to the guys who have recently joined. A few new entries there. I forgot to put it above my head last week, but I haven't this week. If you haven't joined the league, be sure to jump in. If we take a quick look up the league, as I say, everyone on here is in the top 50 in the Roobenstein league. See some big scores. Talia 90 points this week. Abra 90 points this week. Let's keep going at the top 10. And top 1, first in the league, is Jaden Essie. He has been top of the league for 3 weeks in a row. 4 weeks in a row, maybe. He didn't even have the greatest week. He got 55 points, but still 22 points ahead of second place. So a very consistent week. I think the average was 53. So just coming in above that. Let's take a look at Jaden, see if he made any changes from the week before. I mean, a couple of injuries down on the bench there. Schmeichel with 3, James with 3. And Aubameyang finally scored. I mean, it was a penalty. But he finally got on the score sheet for the first time in a while. Danny Ings there with a goal, but also picked up a knock. Kane, captain, good choice, and Wilson pulling in 12. So well done to you, Jaden. Let's take a quick look at someone who got a high score as well. Garnet United here is in second place, got 81 points. Let's see. Ings, Vardy, captain. Wow. Congratulations on that one. And Mitrovic as well, who has done nothing for a long time. A lot of people have been taking him out. He finally got 2 assists, so that is a good one. Grealish, 15 points. Salah, I mean, it's the captaincy that you've smashed it there. Let's take a look at my team, how I did, and what I'm planning on doing for the next game week. As I say, I had a decent week, 71 points. If you watched my video last week, there was 3 changes I was considering. The first one was Wilson to Antonio, which I didn't do. Not only did Antonio not play, Wilson scored 2, so I'm glad I did not do that. The other one I was considering was Grealish to Pulisic, which I also didn't do, thankfully, because Grealish got 15 points and Pulisic didn't play. And my third option of a transfer was Ryan out, Brighton goalkeeper, McCarthy in, and I did it. And McCarthy didn't keep a clean sheet, and I thought, what have I done? But Ryan didn't even play. He got dropped completely from the squad. So basically, I picked up myself 3 extra points with that transfer. And it's not often transfers go right, so I was happy about that. Even though it was like such a little, almost worthless transfer of taking out a 4.5 goalkeeper and putting another one in. I had 2 transfers to use. I wanted to use one of them. Wilson to Antonio or Grealish to Pulisic was like the big move that was a bit more risky, and I decided that with the fixtures Newcastle and Aston Villa had, it might not be worth it. And as I say, I'm glad I didn't do it. Grealish and Wilson both hadn't done anything for a few games. That was pretty much why I was considering it. But they've proved me wrong, and they've done a good job this week. Elsewhere on the board, obviously Aston Villa did lose 4-3, so Target conceded 4, got 0 points. Leeds lost against Leicester 4-1, 0 points. Kilman from Wolves though. I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I mentioned him as a good punt. I did him on my wild card, so I got him at 4 million. And he's definitely done me well. He's up to 4.3 million already now. Almost a 4.5 million defender. And I mean, if he's going to play for Wolves every week, I reckon he's worth jumping on if you haven't already. Son, not too much. I put Salah as captain. He got a goal. You know, I would have done better if I'd captained Grealish or Wilson, but I won't be greedy. Sterling, very, very expensive midfielder who seemingly doesn't get any points at the minute, which is frustrating, but it's Man City. Sterling's a fantastic player. You've got to think he's going to pull something in soon. Maybe not this week, though, because they've got a tough game against Liverpool. And then up front, as I say, Wilson, he's taken the pence for Newcastle. He's had 3 this season. If they keep getting them, you know, then that'll be brilliant. And he got another goal as well, so happy for him. Calvert Lewin. Everton were losing against Newcastle, believe it or not, and to be honest, Newcastle didn't look that great, but Everton looked even worse. But Calvert Lewin is informally scoring goals, and he managed to pull one back for them. So 2-1 was probably the perfect scoreline as a Newcastle supporter, because we won and I got plenty of points on this game. And then Harry Kane with his goal as well. So, as I say, decent week. What am I doing for, well, I say next week, it's Friday. The deadline this week is 4 o'clock on Friday, so there's no waking up on Saturday morning going, right, I'll do me team. It's early. It's 4 o'clock on Friday, so make sure to remember that and make your changes soon if you haven't already. As for me, as I say, I had 2 transfers last week. I used one that has carried over, so I've got 2 transfers again. And I explained this last week, and I don't know whether it's right or wrong, and I know some of you guys in the comments said if you have to make a transfer, then you should do this, or you should try that. Basically implying, if it's working, then why make a transfer? And I do totally get it, but at the same time, if they rolled over and I had 3 transfers, 4 transfers, then I probably wouldn't do anything, but I just like to not waste them, even if it may potentially hurt your team, like it would have done if I'd switched Grealish or Wilson out. For this week, I mean, McCarthy, a home game against Newcastle, although Wilson did score, he's scoring in the home games, I think, not the away ones, so could well be a decent game for him. Defensive line looks okay. I've brought Masuaku off the bench for Target. West Ham's fixtures changed this week. This is the week where West Ham now go on to a very decent run of fixtures. That's why I wanted my West Ham defender in, and I think he's looked good, playing as like the left-sided centre-back, wing-back role. Pretty attacking. Kilman I'll leave in there. Wolves are okay. Leeds against Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace haven't got the best attacking line, so I'll take it. Across the midfield is where it gets a bit more tricky. I mean, Son against West Brom, I'm happy with. Grealish against Arsenal, Salah against Man City, Sterling against Liverpool, not so much. But they're the kind of players that you put in and just leave them. I mean, of anyone, I was wanting to change Grealish the most, but after he's just scored and got an assist at the weekend, even if it is Arsenal, I don't really want to take him out just yet. And same with the front line. Harry Kane against West Brom, he's probably going to be my captain. Calvert Lewin against Man U. Everton have just not looked as good without James Rodriguez. He is the man who creates things. Calvert Lewin isn't the striker who was going to pick the ball up and create something. You know, he's not like Aguero, and it's no disrespect to the guy, but he needs the backup. He needs someone to put the ball in there. And without that creative midfielder like Rodriguez, it hasn't been as easy for Calvert-Lewin. But saying that, he's still scoring, so I'm going to have to leave him in. And then Wilson, again, he's scoring, so I'll leave him in. So, in terms of changes, I'm not sure there's a lot I can do. I mean, Mitchell from Crystal Palace, he's been under threat for a while now. Obviously, a lot of people put him in as the £4 million defender. He's now gone up to 4.2 million. I don't necessarily think people should just start. If you've got one transfer to use this week and you want to do something with it, I don't know if changing Mitchell out is exactly priority. He could well come back into the side, but I just think he hadn't been that great for Crystal Palace. He just looked a bit green, a bit new to the game, like a couple of mistakes. But Hodgson obviously liked him. He was continually playing him, but he picked up a knock. Then he played Van Aanholt, and I just think the likelihood of Mitchell coming straight back in. I mean, yes, they did lose against Wolves 2-0. Maybe he wants Mitchell back in. That's what I mean. I don't think it's a priority transfer. But one person I did like the look of at the weekend was Phillips from Liverpool. So as we know, Liverpool are having some defensive dramas. Alisson's obviously back, but Van Dijk's injured. Matip's injured 1 week and then he's not the next. And they played this young lad, Phillips, for the first time in their game against West Ham. They won 2-1. I was going to say he did concede a goal, but 4 million, full 90 minutes. Klopp hugged him after the game because he was so happy with the way he played. From what I saw of the game, I thought he looked really good. 4 million Liverpool defender. Now I know it's not the same Liverpool defence because they don't have Van Dijk, but for 4 million, I don't know if you can go too wrong. So I'm actually tempted to just chuck this guy in for Mitchell potentially, or even take the punt and take out Target or Ayling just to add a few extra funds to the pot for players moving forward, you know. So that is a transfer that I'm quite interested in. As I say, I've got 2 transfers to make, and as much as some of the fixtures aren't great for Sterling, Salah, Grealish, Calvert Lewin, Salah, Grealish and Calvert Lewin all pulled in points last week, and as much as the fixture isn't great, I don't think I'm rushing to take them out. And as I say, if you're looking to make a transfer this week, I don't think you can look too far past West Ham. Fulham this week, Sheffield United, Aston Villa, Man U. Then Leeds, then Crystal Palace, then... I've just gone through how many games there? About 7 or 8 games with two tough ones, but a lot of promoted teams in there. As I say, Antonio was the one a lot of people were interested in, but because of the fact that he's been injured, I think it is going to scupper a lot of plans for a lot of people. So yeah, I've got my West Ham defender in there. I'm pretty happy with that. Other than Antonio, there isn't too much interest. I know people, Fornell scored, didn't he, and Bowen has been talked about a fair bit, so I can see their prices going up this week. But as for Antonio, I don't think it'll really happen. But yeah, that is it for me. I feel like I've talked for quite a lot this week, so if you've sat through all of that and enjoyed it, please drop a like. I know a lot of you guys watch my videos but aren't actually subscribed, so if you could do that, would be really good, as I'm getting quite close to 20,000 subscribers now. As always, let me know how you did last week, what you're doing with your team this week. As for me, as I say, I don't think I'm going to be changing it I'm not going to be changing it. Some of the players with the tough fixtures are Sterling, Salah against each other. I think I've just got to leave them in and just ride out the week. If I was going to make any changes, I don't think West Ham is a bad shout because they've got some good fixtures moving forward. And as I say, Phillips from Liverpool, will he play again? Was that his debut and now he's back to the under-23s? Who knows? But for 4 million Liverpool defender, that's what I did with Kilman when he was 4 million at Wolves, and now he's up to 4.3. Could it be worth jumping on him soon? I mean, they're playing Man City this weekend, so maybe it's something to use next week when he might have a better game, or see if he plays against Man City. I don't think he's going to go up in price because people aren't going to want to put him in for a Man City game. Maybe wait a week, see if anything happens. Or for someone like me who's got Mitchell injured on the bench anyway, maybe I should just chuck him in and see what happens. But yeah, thank you for watching as always, guys. Drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.